All right, so today is going to be more of the, it's going to be more of the kind of less glamorous side of mixing. We're doing some mix revisions today, so I'm actually pulling up my notes and I'm just going to copy them into the notepad for this session. Before we begin, you may not see the notepad screen. Chorus up 1.5, so I'm going to put this as 210, 20. Chorus up 1.5 dB. Ad-libs down 1.5 on verse 2. Is that right? Ad-libs down verse 2. Third verse, whole voice needs to come down 1 dB. Singing up 1 dB. All right, so those are my notes. Okay, so let's just give this a listen before we do any really major editing. Right now, Zulu is bypassed because I'm going to need that to print with, but I do have a compressor on the bus, which is just there to, give me some kind of grab, but it's not going to be doing a lot. So I'm just going to start this record from the top and see what we get. Here we go.
It's not hard to see the pain when you see my eyes, but I never stopped the hustle just to stay alive. Cali to the Midwest, I stayed solid. In-house, I meditated, I gained knowledge, yeah. A good day is coming, if not, strap up, go out, start hunting. I'm living life back to psycho, savage with intent to move around this bitch and get a bag quick. You know a nigga like me, dog, will never stop. If I wanna jump on the track, I'ma make it hot. Your favorite OG from Sac, yeah, I'm back, I'm ready. Bill just rolled up a stick, Ballistic produced a hit. But keeping it real, y'all, you know I miss him daily. That's why I'm not scared, and suckers can't fade me. In the midst, y'all, is where I've been lately. But it's lovely days from now on, baby. Today's the day to play this play. You better be on your way. On your way, your way. Now it's time to celebrate. Hurry up and don't be late, 'cause you know it's gonna be a lovely day. Lovely day, lovely day, lovely day, lovely day, lovely day, lovely day, lovely day.
It's gonna be a lovely day, chasing the blues away with booze and haze, but never lose your way. Never keep it player always, never let them see you sweat, and always live life with no regret. Make your choices and stand by 'em. Be a man, understand dying. With honor is more important than living lavish. So pay attention to your habits and who you got around. You are the company you keep. Have those around you that wanna help you take a leap forward. Never back. Success or failure, keep it pushing and never slack. Tomorrow is a brand new day, a brand new chance to live life at its best. Celebrate with your loved ones, the ones that was there before you ever started buzzing. Here's a party tonight, and everybody's invited with new life records. That's who you're spending time with.
Today's the day to play this play. You better be on your way. On your way, your way. Now it's time to celebrate. Hurry up and don't be late, 'cause you know it's gonna be a lovely day. Lovely day, 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 lovely day,
Yeah.
lovely day, lovely day.
Players gonna play and haters gonna hate. Fakers gonna fake and makers gonna make time to celebrate, cause it's a lovely day. Roll up, we can medicate, cause there's no other way. Getting lifted, so miss me with all the mischief. Got 50 up on the split, if they shifty, I'm getting pissed on my people. They calm me down and they tell me to chill and kick it. Split the stick and then I feel it, then I lick it and I seal it. Flick it thick and then I feel it, then I pass it to ballistic. This feeling I will conceal it until it get too realistic. So I take a picture, cause one day you know I'll miss it. This vision is so explicit, reminiscing when we kick it. In the kitchen, cooking chicken, and sipping something with liquor. We don't listen to the vicar, drink until we get the hiccups. Wish sweets we mixing and fishing for a new mission. Player haters, we dismiss them, we gonna have us a lovely day.
Day's the day to play is play. You better be on your way. Now it's time to celebrate. Hurry up and don't be late, cause you know it's gonna be a lovely day. Lovely day, 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 lovely day.
All right, so that was our brief listen to. Some of the things that are really evident at this particular period in time is that, you know, so far, when you get to a point like this in your mix where things just in general sound good, excuse me, it's very key that it's very key that you start to pay attention to minor details. So the minor details of this are that the client felt there were slight adjustments that could be made, right? So all is not lost. There's definitely a give and take when you're doing what we call in the business mail-in mixes, where somebody sends you something from, you know, a different location. This person's, you know, not in the same city or area or even the same state as me. We may be working in different time zones, different frames of mind, different monitoring environments. Again, I'm mixing on my dining room table. Right now, for the sake of this stream, I'm on headphones so that the mic doesn't pick up any of the room noise, even though I'm sure it's picking up something because it's a condenser. But I have a gate on it, no OBS. But one of the things that he indicated to me that he felt needed to change was, let's go back to our notes. The client's revisions were, on the third verse, turn the singing up 1 dB and turn the third verse down 1 dB. Now, I do a lot of printing, so sometimes things are kind of handcuffed into place, so I have to go back a whole bunch of steps to redo things. So you try to avoid that as much as possible. But again, Zulu is a fully recallable platform. I use it pretty religiously on everything, you know, where it's warranted. And what I tend to do is, you know, if I got to fix something, I got to fix something. I write down my settings. I know what they are, and I adjust them. So in this particular verse, there's going to be more work than the others. But on this one, he said he wanted the singing to come up a dB. Well, in Reaper, there's several ways you can do that. One of the easiest ways to do it when you have automation, if it's not latching the track, is to, since this is only singing on this one track and there's only one incident of any kind of volume, there's two things I could do. I could either turn the compressor up a dB, or I could turn the track volume up a dB, and then the automation works within that setting. So if I just add a dB of volume, so let's just listen to it without any changes. It's gonna go here.
There's no other way. Getting lifted, so miss me with all the mischief. Got 50 up on the split, if they shifty, I'm getting pissed on my people. They calm me down and they tell me to chill and kick it. Split the stick and then I feel it, then I lick it and I seal it. Flick it thick and then I feel it, then I pass it to ballistic. This feeling I will conceal it until it get too realistic. So I take a picture, cause one day you know I'll miss it. This vision is so explicit, reminiscing when we kick it. In the kitchen, cooking chicken and sipping something with liquor. We don't listen to the vicar, drink until we get the hiccups. Wish sweets we mixing and fishing for a new mission. Player haters, we dismiss them, we gonna have us a lovely day.
So what I'm going to do is turn this up a dB as requested, and can actually get pretty exact. Actually get rid of that 0.2. So we're going to listen again. Save my changes.
Haters gonna hate, fakers gonna fake, and makers gonna make. Time to celebrate, cause it's a lovely day. Roll up, we can medicate, cause there's no other way. Getting lifted, so miss me with all the mischief. Got 50 up on the split, if they shifty, I'm getting pissed on my people. They calm me down and they tell me to.
And then let's go back. See the difference?
Haters gonna hate, fakers gonna fake, and makers gonna make. Time to celebrate, cause it's a lovely day. Roll up, we can medicate, cause there's no other way. Getting lifted, so miss me.
Yeah, so I mean, that's not a thing that stood out to me as like a problem to have it be hotter there. Sometimes I veer on the side of caution. So if the client wants more, I'm giving them more.
Haters gonna hate, fakers gonna fake, and makers gonna make. Time to celebrate, cause it's a lovely day. Roll up, we can medicate, cause there's no other way. Getting lifted, so miss me with all the mischief. Got 50 up on the split, if they shifty, I'm getting pissed on my people. They calm me down and they tell me to chill and kick it, split the stick, and then I.
All right, so there's an immediate improvement per what the client requested. Let's go back and consult our notes again. So I'm going to put a check mark next to the singing, or an asterisk, just to let me know that I completed that task. The third verse needs to drop 1 decibel. Okay, so let's go to the verse. That's the master verse track, which is the print from Zulu, which, by the way, was MX mode, high deck, bias at 9 o'clock. So a lot of the highs were rolled off. Enhance was on 0 and headroom was at high. And all the verses were pretty much tracked as if they were on the same tape machine. So let's find the actual channel where the verses are going, which is here, labeled Jackson verse main. And we're going to automate the, this is a little tricky because I kind of printed some of these things with automation already, and I don't want to eliminate the original verse automation. So what I'm going to do is add a gain plugin, and a great one is Synoxis Free G, and there's a mono one. So what I'm going to do is add this, and I'm just going to automate that, if that makes any sense. So I'm going to automate either the trim or the fader, and just decrease that a dB in volume in that one particular spot. So I'm just going to highlight this region. It's very simple to do automation in Reaper. You highlight the region. I'm going to right click on the trim button, then go to FX parameters and find the effect I want to automate. And there you have it, gain. So what I'm going to do now is, it says 0 dB. I'm going to create this moment, and it tells you what the value is. So I'm just going to drop it. That's too much. So let's see if we can get it a little bit more fine-tuned. All right, so negative 0.98. Okay, let's give a listen. And then we can bypass this effect and see the difference.
Lovely day, lovely day, lovely day, lovely day,
Yeah.
lovely day, lovely day.
Players gonna play, and haters gonna hate. Fakers gonna fake, and makers gonna make. Time to celebrate, cause it's a lovely day. Roll up, we can medicate, cause there's no other way.
Okay, so that's more set back into the track. Let's compare that to the other verse previous to that.
It's gonna be a lovely day, chasing the blues away with booze.
Players gonna play, and haters gonna hate.
It's really close in volume, which is good. So I missed that. So good call, client. Good call, Scott. Sometimes after you listen to stuff for such a long time, minor details kind of escape you. And again, I'm still very much getting back into the saddle of mixing more often. But this is the give and take of mixing, you know, like getting your first actual pass of a mix to be approved is very rare. It does happen. But that doesn't mean that people aren't going to hear something that you don't. And that's part of the process, right? Is trying to get as close as possible to what the client asked for.
Players gonna play and haters gonna hate. Fakers gonna fake and makers gonna make. Time to celebrate.
And that makes that difference.
Roll up, we can medicate cause there's no other way.
All right, so I've turned down that third verse, and I've turned up the singing. So I'm going to mark that off as done. So it says the ad-libs need to go down 1.5 dB on verse 2. So not the highlights, but the ad-libs. So let's take a listen to verse 2.
It's gonna be a lovely day, chasing the blues away with booze and haze, but never lose your way. Never keep it player always, never let them see you sweat, and always live life with no regret. Make your choices and stand by 'em. Be a man, understand dine. With honor is more important than living lavish. So pay attention to your habits and who you got around. You are the company you keep. Have those around you that wanna help you take a leap forward, never back.
All right, so this is indicating to me that he is not digging how loud those A's and never, all that stuff. So he wants to turn that down. That's actually pretty cool. So let's give this a crank here and undo that, right? So what we're going to do is I'm going to put this on a safety track, and let me turn snap on and mute that. And what we're going to do is actually turn these two particular tracks back on. So we're going to unmute them. And then I'm going to drop the volume of this 1.5 dB. Right, so that's going to go to 1.24. Right, now let's take a listen. So this was going through Zulu in this particular instance. So what do we got to turn back on? Looks like just reinsert. I'm going to bypass this. And then again, writing everything down has its advantages. So I'm going to put this back on 3.4. And the setting for the vocal stack bus was MX mode. So we're already in there from a previous mix last night. That's great. Deck was set to Pro. Bias is at 9 o'clock. Enhance was at 9 o'clock. Headroom is set to Pro. Okay, so let's listen to that now. Is this gonna work?
So pay attention to your habits and who you got around. You are the company you keep. Have those around you that want to help you take a leap forward, never back. Success or failure, keep it pushing and never slack. Tomorrow is a brand new day, a brand new chance to live life at its best. Celebrate with your loved ones, the ones that was there before you ever started buzzing. Here's a party tonight and everybody's invited. We're New Life Records, that's who you're spending time with.
Today's a day. House I meditated, I gained knowledge, yeah. A good day is coming, if not strap up, go out, start hunting. I'm living life back to psycho, savage with intent to move around this bitch and get a bag quick. You know a nigga like me, dog, will never stop. If I wanna jump on the track, I'ma make it hot. Your favorite OG from Sac, yeah, I'm back, I'm ready. Bill just rolled up a stick, Ballistic produced a hit. But keeping it real, y'all, you know I miss them daily. That's why I'm not scared, and suckers can't fade me. In the mist, y'all, it's where I've been lately. But it's lovely day.
So I need to get a reference on volume here. So
be a lovely day, chasing the blues away with booze and haze, but never lose your way. Never keep it player always, never let them see you sweat, and always live life with no regret. Make your choices and stand by 'em. Be a man, understand dine. With honor is more important than living lavish. So pay attention to your habits and who you got around. You are the company you keep. Have those around you that want to help you take a leap forward, never back. Success success or failure, keep it pushing and never slack. Tomorrow is a brand new day, a brand new chance to live life at its best. Celebrate with your loved ones, the ones that was there before you ever started buzzing. Here's a party tonight and everybody's invited with New Life Records. That's who you're spending time with.
To the Midwest, I stayed solid. In-house, I meditated.
Be a lovely day, chasing the blues away with booze and hay, but never lose your way. Never keep it player always, never let them see you sweat, and always live life with no regret. Making choices and stand by 'em. Be a man, understand dying with honor is more important than living lavish. So pay attention to your habits and who you got around you.
House, I meditated. I gained knowledge. Yeah, a good day is coming.
Be a lovely day, chasing the blues away with booze and hay, but never lose your way. Never keep it player always, never let them see you sweat, and all. Be a lovely day, chasing the blues away with booze and hay, but never lose your way. Never keep it player always, never let them see you sweat, and always live life with no regret. None. Choices and stand by 'em. Stand by 'em. Understand dying with honor is more important than living lavish. So pay attention to your habits and who you got around you. Are the company you keep. Have those surround you that wanna help you take a leap forward. Never back success.
Not strapped up, go out, start hunting. I'm living life back to cycle.
Choices and stand by 'em. Be a man, understand dying with honor is more important than living lavish. So pay attention to your habits and who you got around you. Are the company you keep. Have those surround you that wanna help you take a leap.
Not strapped up, go out, start hunting. I'm living life back to cycle.
With booze and hay, but never lose your way. Never keep it player always, never let them see you sweat, and always live life with no regret. Making choices and stand by 'em. Be a man, understand dying with honor is more important than living lavish. So pay attention to your habits and who you got around you. Are the company you keep. Have those surround you that wanna help you take a leap forward. Never back success or failure, keep it pushing and never slack. Tomorrow is a brand new day, a brand new chance to live life at its best. Celebrate with your loved ones, the ones that was there before you ever started buzzing. Here's a party tonight and everybody's invited with New Life Records. That's who you're spending time with.
Today's a day. Hard to see the pain when you see my eyes, but I never stop the hustle. Not strapped up, go out, start hunting. I'm living life.
It's gonna be a lovely day, chasing the blues away with booze and hay.
Around this bitch and get a bag quick. You know a nigga like me, dog, will never stop. If I wanna jump on the track, I'ma make it hot. Your favorite OG from Sac.
Sweat and always live life with no regret. Making choice.
OG from Sac, yeah, I'm back, I'm ready. Bill just rolled up a stick, but
keep it player always.
Fakers gonna fake and makers gonna make. Time to celebrate cause it's a lovely day. Roll up, we can
sweat and always live life with no regret. Making choices and stand by 'em. Be a man, understand dying with honor is more important than living lavish. So pay attention.
rolled up a stick, ballistic produced a hit, but keeping it
ticking, then I feel it, then I lick it, and I seal it. Click it, pick, and then I feel it, then I pass it to ballistic. This feeling I will conceal it.
Choices and stand by 'em. Be a man.
rolled up a stick, ballistic produced a hit, but keeping it real, y'all. You know I miss them daily. That's why I'm not scared, and suckers can't fade me. In the mist, y'all, is where I've been lately. But it's lovely days from now on, baby.
Just trying to get these levels to kind of sit a little better between the three ad-lib verse banks. So giving it a few more moments.
Rolled up a stick, ballistic produced a hit, but keeping it real, y'all. You know I miss them daily. That's why I'm not scared, and suckers can't fade me. In the mist, y'all.
Keep it player always, never let them see you sweat, and always live life with no regret. Making choices and
players gonna play and haters gonna hate. Fakers gonna fake and make.
Keep it player always, never let them see you sweat, and always.
Players gonna play and haters gonna hate. Fakers gonna fake and makers gonna make. Time to celebrate cause it's a lovely day. Roll up, we can medicate cause there's no other way. Getting lit.
Keep it player always, never let them see you sweat, and always live life with no regret. Making choices and stand by 'em. Be a man, understand dying with honor is more important than living lavish. So pay attention to your habits and who you got around you. Are the company you keep. Have those surround you that wanna help you take a leap forward. Never back success or failure, keep it pushing and never slack. Tomorrow is a brand new day, a brand new chance to live.
Not strapped up, go out, start hunting. I'm living life back to psycho. Savage with intent to move around this bitch and get a bag quick. You know a nigga like me, dog, will never stop.
Keep it player always, never let them see you sweat. And always live life with no regret. Make your choices and stand by 'em. Be a man, understand dying. With honor is more important.
Just to stay alive, Cali to the Midwest, I stayed solid. In-house.
Keep it player always, never let them see you sweat. And always live life with no regret. Make your choices and stand.
Medicate, cause there's no other way. Getting lifted, so miss me with all the mischief. Got 50 up on the slip. If they shifty, I'm getting pissed on my people. They calm me down and they tell me to chill and kick it with the stick. And then I feel it, then I lick it and I seal it. Click it thick and then I feel it and I pass it to ballistic. This feeling I will conceal it until it get too realistic. So I take a picture, cause one day you know I'll miss it. This vision is so explicit, reminiscing when we kick it. In the kitchen, cooking, drinking, and sipping something with liquor. We don't listen to the vicar.
All right, so let's print this vocal back. Hopefully this doesn't create a calamity. A calamity. All right, so see what happens here. Laptop's cooking. My baby getting the proper ventilation she needs. All right, so we're going to print this back, and hopefully this won't create too many issues, and I can always adjust it. Let's see what happens here. What I've done is I've created an output mix where basically you can arm a track to record, but then it's just going to record its own output to a stereo mix, or you can do stereo, or, you know, this is like the inputs, but then you can actually record the output to stereo or mono. You can do latency compensated or not. You can do multi-channel. It's actually pretty cool. So anyways, we're going to just print this down real quick, see what happens.
Lovely day, lovely day, lovely day.
It's gonna be a lovely day, chasing the blues away with booze and hay, but never lose your way. Keep it player always, never let them see you sweat. And always live life with no regret. Make your choices and stand by 'em. Be a man, understand dying. With honor is more important than living lavish. So pay attention to your habits and who you got around. You are the company you keep. Have those surround you that wanna help you take a leap forward, never back. Success or failure, keep it pushing and never slack. Tomorrow is a brand new day, a brand new chance to live life at its best. Celebrate with your loved ones, the ones that was there before you ever started buzzing. Here's a party tonight and everybody's invited with New Life Records. That's who you're spending time with.
Today's the day.
All right, now if everything went well, what we should have here is we're going to just mute these. Boom, boom, boom. Turn this part off. Turn this off. Turn both of these off. And what I like to do is migrate this track to a slave track that then feeds into the track below it. And what is the bass volume on that? Well, hopefully I didn't create more work for myself, but let's take a listen. So
Around this bitch and get a bag quick. You know a nigga like me, dog, will never stop. If I wanna jump on the track, I'ma make it hot. Your favorite.
Be a lovely day, chasing the blues away with booze and hay, but never lose your way. Never keep it player always, never let them see you.
A good day is coming. If not, strap up. Go out, start hunting. I'm living life back to psycho. Savage with intent to move around this bitch and get a bag quick. You know a nigga like me, dog, will never stop. If I wanna jump on the track, I'ma make it hot. Your favorite OG from Sac, yeah, I'm back, I'm ready. Bill just rolled up a stick, ballistic produced a hit. But keeping it real, y'all, you know I miss them daily. That's why I'm not scared, and suckers can't fade me. In the mist, y'all, is where I've been lately. But it's lovely days from now on, baby. Today's the day to play this play.
With booze and hay, but never lose your way. Keep it player always, never let them see you sweat. And always live life with no regret. Make your choices and stand by 'em. Be a man, understand dying. With honor is more important.
Life back to psycho, savage with intent to move around his.
Keep it player always, never let them see you sweat. And always live life with no regret. Make your choices and stand by 'em. Be a man, understand dying.
Not strapped up, go out, start hunting. I'm living life back to psycho, savage with intent. Nigga like me, dog, will never stop.
Choices and stand by 'em. Be a man, understand dying. With honor is more important than living lavish. So choices and stand by 'em. Be
around this bitch and get a bag quick. You know a nigga like me, dog, will never stop. If I wanna jump on the track, I'ma make it hot. Your favorite OG from Sac, yeah.
Choices and stand by 'em. Be a man, understand dying. With honor is more important.
Celebrate cause it's a lovely day. Roll up, we can medicate cause there's no other way. Getting lifted, so miss me with all the mischief. Got 50 up on the split, if they shifty, I'm getting pissed on my people. They call me down and they tell me to chill and kick it. Split the stick and then I feel it, then I lick it and I seal it. Flick a pick and then I feel it, then I pass it to ballistic. This feeling I will conceal it until it get too realistic. So I take a picture cause one day you know I'll miss it. This vision is so explicit, reminiscing when we kick it. In the kitchen cooking, drinking, and sipping something with liquor. We don't listen to the bicker, drink until we get the hiccups. Swish up, sweets we mixing and fishing for a new mission. Player haters, we dismiss them. We
with booze and hay, but never lose your way.
A good day is coming, if not strap up, go out, start hunting. I'm living
sweat and always live life with no regret. Make your choices and stand by 'em. Be a man, understand dying. With honor is more important than living lavish. So pay attention to your habits and who you got around. You are the company you keep. Have those surround.
Players gonna play and haters gonna hate. Fakers gonna fake and makers gonna make. Time to celebrate cause it's a lovely day. Roll up, we can medicate cause there's no other way. Getting lifted, so miss me with all the mischief. Got 50 up on the split, if they shifty, I'm getting pissed on my people. They call me down and they tell me to chill and kick it. Split the stick and then I feel it, then I lick it and I seal it. Flick a pick and then I feel it, then I pass it to ballistic. This feeling I will conceal it until it get too realistic. So I take a picture cause one day you know I'll miss it. This vision is so explicit, reminiscing when we kick it. In the kitchen cooking, drinking, and sipping something with liquor. We don't listen to the bicker, drink until we get the hiccups. Swish up, sweets we mixing and fishing for a new mission. Player haters, we dismiss them. We gonna have us a lovely day. Players gonna play and haters gonna hate. Fakers gonna fake and makers gonna make. Time to celebrate cause it's a lovely day. Roll up, we can medicate cause there's no other way. Getting
a good day is coming, if not strap up, go out, start hunting. I'm living life back to psycho, savage with intent to move around this bitch and get a back.
With booze and hay, but never lose your way. Keep it player always, never let them see us.
Players gonna play and haters gonna hate. Fakers gonna fake and makers gonna make. Time to celebrate cause it's a lovely day. Roll up, we can medicate cause there's no other way. Players gonna play and haters gonna hate. Fakers gonna fake and makers gonna make. Time to celebrate.
Just to stay alive, Cali to the Midwest, I stayed solid. In-house I meditated, I gained knowledge, yeah. A good day is coming, if not strap up, go out, start hunting. I'm living life back to psycho, savage with intent to move around this bitch and get a bag quick. You know a nigga like me, dog, will never
with booze and hay, but never lose your way. Keep it player always, never let them see you sweat. And always live life with no regret. Make your choices and stand by 'em. Be a man, understand dying. With honor is more important than living lavish.
Nigga like me, dog, will never stop. If I wanna jump on the track, I'ma make it hot. Your favorite OG
with booze and hay, but never lose your way. Keep it player always, never let them see you sweat. And always live life with no regret. Make your choices and stand by 'em.
Nigga like me, dog, will never stop. If
fakers gonna fake and makers gonna make. Time to celebrate cause it's a lovely day. Roll up, we can medicate cause there's no other way. Getting lifted, so miss me with all the mischief. Got 50 up on the split, if they shifty, I'm getting pissed on my people. They call me down and they tell me to chill and kick it. Split the stick and then I feel it, then I lick it and I seal it. Flick a pick and then I feel it, then I pass it to ballistic. This feeling I will conceal it until it get too realistic.
With booze and hay, but never lose your way. Keep it player always, never let them see you sweat. And always live life with no regret. Make your choices and stand by 'em. Be a man, understand dying with honor is more important than living lavish. So pay attention to
Makers gonna fake and makers gonna make. Time to celebrate cause it's a lovely day. Roll up, we can medicate cause there's no other way.
ones that was there before you ever started buzzing. Here's a party tonight and everybody's invited. We're New Life Records, that's who you're spending time with.
Nigga like me, dog, will never stop. If I wanna jump on the track, I'ma make it hot. Your favorite OG from
Choices and stand by 'em. Be a man, understand dying with honor is more important than living lavish. So pay attention to your habits and who
Makers gonna fake. Be up on the stick if they shifty, I'm getting pissed on my people. They calm me down and they tell me to chill and kick it. Split the stick and then I feel it, then I lick it and I seal it. Flick it thick and then I feel it and I pass it to ballistic. This feeling I will conceal it until it get too realistic. So I take a picture cause one day you know I'll miss it. This vision is so explicit, reminiscing when we kick it. In the kitchen cooking, drinking, and sipping something with liquor. We don't listen to the bicker, drink until we get the hiccups. Sweet.
All right, so I'm pretty happy with that. So let's listen from the top again.
It's not hard to see the pain when you see my eyes, but I never stop the hustle just to stay alive. Cali to the Midwest, I stayed solid. In-house, I meditated, I gained knowledge, yeah. A good day is coming, if not, strap up, go out, start hunting. I'm living life back to psycho, savage with intent to move around this bitch and get a bag quick. You know a nigga like me, dog, will never stop. If I wanna jump on the track, I'ma make it hot. Your favorite OG from Sac, yeah, I'm back, I'm ready. Bill just rolled up a stick, ballistic produced a hit. But keeping it real, y'all, you know I miss them daily. That's why I'm not scared, and suckers can't fade me. In the mist, y'all, is where I've been lately. But it's lovely days from now on, baby. Today's the day the players play. You better be on your way. Now it's time to celebrate. Hurry up and don't be late, cause you know it's gonna be a lovely day. Lovely day, lovely day, lovely day, lovely day, lovely day, lovely day, lovely day.
it's gonna be a lovely day. Chasing the blues away with booze and hay, but never lose.
So here's a key example too of making those changes for things like the chorus. So the request was the chorus come up a half a dB and a half. So that would be negative 4 point, basically negative 4. One moment. Sorry about that. Somebody loves me. I was doing this broadcast and food arrived at my door. So where we were at is we were going to turn the chorus up 1.5 dB. So let's listen to it. Let's do before and after. So this is what it was at. So we're just going to come out of the verse and into the chorus.
Rolled up a stick, ballistic produced a hit. But keeping it real, y'all, you know I miss them daily. That's why I'm not scared, and suckers can't fade me. In the mist, y'all, is where I've been lately. But it's lovely days from now on, baby. Today's the day to play is play. You better be on your way. Now it's time to celebrate. Hurry up and don't be late, 'cause you know it's gonna be a lovely day. Lovely day.
All right, so let's go back to the new change, which is the increase in volume. So is that Control-Shift-Z? All right, so let's give that a listen.
Rolled up a stick, ballistic produced a hit. But keeping it real, y'all, you know I miss them daily. That's why I'm not scared, and suckers can't fade me. In the mist, y'all, is where I've been lately. But it's lovely days from now on, baby. Today's the day to play is play. Better be on your way. Now it's time to celebrate. Hurry up and don't be late, 'cause you know it's gonna be a lovely day. Lovely day, 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 lovely day.
It's gonna be a lovely day, chasing the blues away with booze and hay, but never lose your way. Keep it play.
All right, so I think that change is a positive change. It doesn't necessarily compromise anything. It makes more of a almost what I'd call an energy difference on the chorus rather than just a sheer volume one. And that's because even with sound, you have to take into account that take into account that it's not always about volume, sometimes it's about energy. And so if you don't think about it in terms of energy, you're just going to be cranking on volume and not listening for the change in dynamics around everything else. Like if you have a bus compressor, if just the combination of the overlapping notes changes the feel of the record, and you kind of have to be sensitive to that. Just trying to go for a brute force solution isn't always the answer. So let's put Zulu in and see if this doesn't destroy everything. So this hopefully should get me somewhere closer to where I want to be. Let me just look at where the level's at right now before I turn Zulu on.
Rolled up a stick, ballistic produced a hit. But keeping it real, y'all, you know I miss them daily. That's why I'm not scared, and suckers can't fade me. In the mist, y'all, is where I've been lately. But it's lovely days from now on, baby. Today's the day. Rolled up a stick, ballistic produced a hit. But keeping it real, y'all, you know I miss them daily. That's why I'm not scared, and suckers can't fade me. In the mist, y'all, is where I've been lately. But it's lovely days from now on, baby.
All right, so let's get this set to mix bus settings. So mix bus was EX mode. Bias was at 9 o'clock. Enhance was at 12 o'clock. Headroom is set to Pro. So I'm going to check this again without Zulu.
Rolled up a stick, ballistic produced a hit. But keeping it real, y'all, you know I miss them daily. That's why I'm not scared.
Turn it back up.
Can't fade me. In the mist, y'all, is where I've been lately. But it's lovely days from now on, baby. Today's the day the players play. You better be on your way. On your way, your way. Now it's time to celebrate. Hurry up and don't be late, 'cause you know it's gonna be a lovely day. Lovely day, 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 lovely day.
It's gonna be a lovely day, chasing the blues away with booze and hay, but never lose your way. Keep it player always, never let them see you sweat, and always live life with no regret. Making choices and stand by 'em. Be a man, understand dying with honor is more important than living lavish. So pay attention to your habits and who you got around. You are the company.
Rolled up a stick, ballistic produced a hit.
Take a look at the beginning of that top note.
It's not hard to see the pain when you see my eyes, but I never stop to hustle just to stay alive. Cali to the Midwest, I stayed solid. In-house, I meditated, I gained knowledge, yeah. A good day is coming, if not, strap up, go out, start hunting. I'm living life back to psycho, savage with intent to move around this bitch and get a bag quick. You know a nigga like me, dog, will never stop. If I wanna jump on the track, I'ma make it hot. Your favorite OG from Sac, yeah, I'm back, I'm ready. Bill just rolled up a stick, ballistic produced a hit. But keeping it real, y'all, you know I miss them daily. That's why I'm not scared, and suckers can't fade me. In the mist, y'all, is where I've been lately. But it's lovely days from now on, baby. Today's the day the players play. You better be on your way. On your way, your way. Now it's time to celebrate. Hurry up and don't be late, 'cause you know it's gonna be a lovely day.
So one of the things that we didn't do here is, even though this is a mix that I kind of know well, is try to find that sweet spot. So let me turn the volume down on the send, on the return, and try to see what we can get out of this on pushing it. So I'm going to just give this some juice. Right, because like, what can the formula bear? Going too aggressive here. Going way too aggressive.
It's not hard to see the pain when you see my eyes, but I never stop to hustle just to stay alive. Cali to the Midwest, I stayed solid. In-house, I meditated, I gained knowledge, yeah. A good day is coming, if not, strap up, go out, start hunting. I'm living life back to psycho, savage with intent to move around this bitch and get a bag quick. You know a nigga like me, dog, will never stop. If I wanna jump on the track, I'ma make it hot. Your favorite OG from Sac, yeah, I'm back, I'm ready. Bill just rolled up a stick, ballistic produced a hit. But keeping it real, y'all, you know I miss them daily. That's why I'm not scared, and suckers can't fade me. In the mist, y'all, is where I've been lately. But it's lovely days from now on, baby. Today's the day the players play. You better be on your way. On your way, your way. Now it's time to celebrate. Hurry up and don't be late, 'cause you know it's gonna be a lovely day.
So that's like my typical thing, is to throw like a pull tech on the mix.
Lovely day, 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 lovely day.
It's gonna be a lovely day, chasing chasing the blues away with booze and haze, but never lose your way. Keep it player always, never let them see you sweat, and always live life with no regret. Make your choices and stand by 'em. Be a man, understand dying with honor is more important than living lavish. So pay attention to your habits and who you got around. You are the company you keep. Have those surround you that wanna help you take a leap forward, never back. Success or failure, keep it pushing and never slack. Tomorrow is a brand new day, a brand new chance to live life at its best. Celebrate with your loved ones, the ones that was there before you ever started buzzing. Here's a party tonight and everybody's invited with New Life Records. That's who you're spending time with.
Today's the day to play this play. You better be on your way. On your way, your way. Now it's time to celebrate. Hurry up and don't be late, 'cause you know it's gonna be a lovely day. Lovely day, 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 lovely day,
Yeah.
lovely day, lovely day.
Players gonna play and haters gonna hate. Fakers gonna fake and makers gonna make. Time to celebrate 'cause it's a lovely day. Roll up, we can medicate 'cause there's no other way. Getting lifted, so miss me with all the mischief. Got 50 up on the stiff. If they shifty, I'm getting pissed on my people. They calm me down and they tell me to chill and kick it. Split the stick and then I feel it. Then I lick it and I seal it. Flick it thick and then I feel it. And I pass it to ballistic. This feeling I will conceal it until it get too realistic. So I take a picture 'cause one day you know I'll miss it. This vision is so explicit. Reminiscing when we kick it in the kitchen, cooking, drinking, and sipping something with liquor. We don't listen to the vicar. Drink until we get the hiccups. Swish up, sweets we mixing and fishing for a new mission. Player haters, we dismiss them. We gonna have us a lovely day.
Today's the day to play this play. You better be on your way. On your way, your way. Now it's time to celebrate. Hurry up and don't be late, 'cause you know it's gonna be a lovely day. Lovely day, 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 lovely day.
So in terms of what we've kind of learned here on this mix was, this is near the end of the process where I'm trying to make those final fine-tuned cuts, you know, and boosts. And sometimes, you know, you try to just, you feel your way through that. You and your client have back and forth, and you kind of have to come to that point where they're really satisfied, and you also feel like it's still work that's, you know, your work, you know, is, you know, as best you can. You don't always win every one of those battles. And again, this is in a world where you get paid to do this kind of stuff, or you get hired to do it, you do have to be just aware that, you know, that's part of the game, you know. But this actually sounds really good. One of the things I'll go back over and listen to with you all is just like the drums. I just want to listen to this by section really quick before we wrap. So this is the, let's see what we got here. This is the, is this the drum bus? Let's see. Nope, that's instruments. So let's go to what I guess would be considered the drum bus. Right. So there's your drums. And like that heaviness is so important. Yeah. By the way, if you hear things like the volume dropping suddenly, I have the mic set to duck. the audio. So that's not really pumping in the mix. That's me like breathing, or you know, I have a gate on the vocal, but that's me breathing or chewing. I'm trying to secretly over here stuff my face with pancakes. And spill coffee all over myself. But the key takeaway here is to kind of listen to, you know, in the video that we covered before with drums, how when we were building this drum mix, how Zulu really helps solidify the holes that are often left when we just import samples or we have sample collections. Sometimes there are holes in those samples that are just part of the artifact of digital sampling. Recording is another way to describe that. And we inherit whatever problems those samples bring to the table. So using a tool like Zulu to address that is really important when you just need it, you know, hi-hat that just sounds like a hi-hat, you know, or it's got to have some butter to it, or some vibe, or some cream, some fat, some shea butter, right? And it's just, it's one of those things where, like, when you really listen to like a record, like a hip hop record, or last night we had the R&B record, hi-hats, shakers, a lot of different percussive elements really carry records, and we have to be really thoughtful when we incorporate them into our tracks. You know, like when you're just going to throw a hi-hat on a record, a hi-hat is not just there to keep time, it's there to also add like accents on notes. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to go back to like what cymbals are for. Cymbals in the intertraditional sense were used orchestrally to accent certain notes. No, da 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 da. You know, they were there to kind of add an element. Same thing with the crash cymbal. A lot of this stuff was hand percussion at one point. You can't forget that it wasn't until the 20th century that, you know, certain instruments like drums were even on stands. They used to just be part of the marching band, which was an offshoot from the classical orchestra. So just remember the purpose of a hi-hat, and that also applies not only as a producer, but also as an engineer. Like, is this really adding the accent that's needed to make that track really sit right and to have it carry those accents and those rhythmic pulses the right way, or is it just kind of filling a different role? You know, you have to think about that, because that impacts where you put that in the mix, that impacts how you process it. And because I'm just the old soul, I just think tape makes everything involving the word drums or cymbals or percussion better. So having like that kick drum with that low end authority, when it might not have had that in the first place, it really kind of changes the dynamic of the record a little bit. And it, you know, sometimes it's a creative decision, so you have to kind of do that in partnership with the client, you know, because you are taking a bit of a creative risk by changing their sound. Even with something like EQ, you know. But if they're happy with your choices, and you can come up with a really rockin' drum mix like this one. And what's really cool about this drum mix is that there's no compression on it, right? There was at one point. And we can do a comparison. Like, how does that sound with that 1176, which is acting like a stereo 1176, which is known as an 1178, on the drum mix? Now notice that it's set so that it's really 75% wet or 60% wet. So a lot of the original drum sound is coming through. So let's see what this sounds like by itself, by comparison.
Booze and hate, but never lose your way. Never. Keep it player always, never let them see you sweat. And always live life with no regret. Make your choices and stand by 'em. Be a man, understand dying with honor is more important than living lavish. So pay attention to your...
Now for me, and this is just for me, that feels like too much, right? Even though it's blended in, I just like it without the compression. Like, here's the difference.
Booze and hate, but never lose your way. Never. Keep it player always, never let them see you sweat. And always live life with no regret. Make your choices and stand by 'em. Be a man, understand dying with honor is more important than living lavish. So pay attention to your habits and who you got around you. Are the company you keep. Have those around you that want to help you take a leap forward, never back. Success or failure, keep it pushing and never slack. Tomorrow is a brand new day, a brand new chance to live life at its best. Celebrate with your love loved ones, the ones that was there before you ever started buzzing. It's a party tonight and everybody's invited. We're New Life Records, that's who you're spending time with.
Today's the day to play is play. You better be on your way. On your way, your way. Now it's time to celebrate. Hurry up and don't be late, 'cause you know it's gonna be a lovely day. Lovely day, lovely day, lovely day.
And again, I think also part of it is just the change in volume is kind of significant, but I didn't really think it was needed.
Gonna fake and make us gonna make time to celebrate, cause it's a lovely day. Roll up, we can medicate, cause there's no other way. Getting lifted, so miss me with all the mischief. Got 50 up on the stick, if they shifty, I'm getting pissed. On my people, they calm me down and they tell me to
Get
chill
the
and kick
hi-hats.
it with the stick. Too realistic, so I take a picture, cause one day you know I'll miss it. This vision is so explicit, reminiscing when we kick it in the kitchen, cooking, drinking, and sipping something with liquor. We don't listen to the bicker, drink until we get the hiccups. Swish up, sweets we mixing and fishing for a new mission. Player haters.
So do you see how like that energy change happens when you take the hi-hats out? Because do you think the shakers are enough, right?
Booze and haze, but never lose your way. Never. Keep it player always, never let them see you sweat. And always live life with no regret. Making choices and stand by.
There's just the energy thing there that if you're not paying attention, you won't be aware of it. And so that's what that layering is about. And that was something that I shared with the client, was that when listening to the original record that this is inspired by, they were doing a combination of the hi-hat shaker thing, and it just added like a right? There was like an interplay. And so that's why naturally I think our ears prick up on this record when those shakers drop, right? Like you know what I'm saying? Like when those shakers come in, it changes the whole dynamic of the record. Like check it out when it drops.
It's not hard to see the pain when you see my eyes, but I never stop the hustle just to stay alive. Cali to the Midwest.
Now, mind you, these shakers are meant to be, they were put in a pattern, and I kind of like shifted around the notes to make them groove, but it's almost as if they're pushing on those hits on the bass note, on the boom, 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 the boom, 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 the boom, right? So you wanted the shaker to really like push that. And that's about level too.
It's not hard to see the pain when you see my eyes, but I never stop the hustle just to stay alive. Cali to the Midwest, I stayed solid. In-house, I meditated, I gained knowledge, yeah. A good day is coming, if not, strap up, go out, start hunting. I'm living life back to psycho, savage with intent to move around this bitch and get a bag quick. You know a nigga like me, dog, will never stop. If I wanna jump on the track, I'ma make it hot. Your favorite OG from Sac, yeah, I'm back, I'm ready. Bill just rolled up a stick, ballistic produced it.
So interestingly enough, there's our bass bus, right? Here's our guitars. And there's like a little bit of distortion underneath the regular bass. All mostly done with Zulu, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And this particular bass, was HX mode, low deck, bias 9 o'clock, enhanced 12 o'clock, and headroom low. So it's got like a, it's almost synthy the way it comes out. And that was all done intentionally. I really wanted to, this is like all the stuff that I had on there. I had a DBX 165 compressor, an 1176, an equalizer, a gate, another EQ, Zulu, another EQ, and a saturator to kind of get this sound. I just liked it. And this guitar was occupying bass region, so I just stuck it on the bass bus and kind of made it where like somebody's like plucking like the highest note. Guess that'd be the G string on a 4-string bass. EAD, G, the G string, yeah. EADG. So I just parked it in there, cut some low end out of it. Like a lot of low end, 250. Compressed it. Fast attack, long release. Some method to the madness, right?
You better be on your way. On your way, your way. Now it's time to celebrate. Hurry up and don't be late, 'cause you know it's gonna be a lovely.
So this is like a really important track. This is the track, right? The keys track. See how distorted it is? So I kind of made one track slower than the other, distorted it, added some EQ, added an LA2A, so I wanted it to be like really warmed up before it hit the compressor. And I kind of did the same thing with the other track. One's pan left, one's pan right. And what I did was, we were in EX mode on keys, Pro deck, bias was at 11 o'clock, and enhance was at 9 o'clock, and headroom was set to Pro. And then I'm pretty sure I pegged the living daylights out of this thing. If I bring this back online, like how loud was I coming out? Pretty sure I was coming out pretty hot based on the breakup, but it just makes the record.
You better be on your way. On your way, your way. Now it's time to celebrate. Hurry up and don't be late, 'cause you know it's gonna be a lovely day.
And then the way that they organize the record, like the E piano doesn't even hit until the top of the top of the verse, which is great. Vocals have a delay on them.
It's not hard to see the pain when you see my eyes, but I never stopped to hustle just to stay alive. Cali to the Midwest, I stayed solid. In-house, I meditate.
So let's take a listen to that vocal.
Daily, that's why I'm not scared, and suckers can't fade me. In the mist, y'all, is where I've been lately, but it's lovely days from now on, baby. It's not hard to see the pain
So
when you
let's
see
listen
my
to that
eyes,
vocal again.
but I never stopped to hustle just to stay alive. Cali to the Midwest, I stayed solid. In-house, I meditated, I gained knowledge, yeah. A good day is coming. If not, strap up, go out, start hunting. I'm living life back to psycho. Savage with intent to move around this
Free
bitch
word delay.
and get a bag quick. You know a
Variety
nigga
of
like
sound
me,
again.
dog, will
Nasty
never
delay.
stop. If I wanna jump on the track, I'ma
Nasty
make it
delay.
hot. Your favorite OG from Sac, yeah, I'm back, I'm ready. Bill just rolled up a stick, Ballistic produced a hit. But keeping it real, y'all, you know I miss him daily. That's why I'm not scared, and suckers can't fade me. In the mist, y'all, is where I've been lately. But it's lovely days from now on, baby.
So the vocal kind of like loses a little bit of complexity by taking out that second delay. It's not something I do every record. It just made sense to do it on this one. But taking it out, it just loses some energy.
It's not hard to see the pain when you see my eyes, but I never stopped the hustle just to stay alive.
Long reverb
Cali
again.
to the Midwest, I stayed solid. In-house, I meditated. I gained knowledge, yeah. A good day is coming. If not, strap up, go out, start.